I'm going to wrap us up with this sermon today with a challenge. Starting tomorrow, our church is going to partner with other churches in the Chattahoochee Valley to pray and fast for the next 40 days for our city. In fact, starting tomorrow on August 1st, church leaders and churches all across the Chattahoochee Valley are going to go through a 40-day period of praying and fasting. I'm going to ask you to join me to pray fervently and to fast daily for our city. Give up one meal a day, and the time that you would spend eating that meal, would you sacrifice that time and ask God to do something amazing in our city, to do a great work in your neighbor's life or in your neighborhood or in our community or in this church? Some of you in this room are not medically able to fast a meal, so here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Would you give up all social media for the next 40 days? All of the time that you would normally spend on Facebook or on Instagram, would you spend that time praying to your Father and asking Him to work in our city? Or if social media isn't your thing, would you give up TV for the next 40 days? And all of the time that you would normally spend watching movies on Netflix or watching television, would you spend that time interceding for our city? Starting this coming Wednesday, at noon in this room, Pastor Otto Price will be leading a time of prayer from noon to 1 every Wednesday, and it is a chance for you to come together corporately as a group and to pray for our city. But I'm inviting you to pray individually for the next 40 days. And by the way, do the math. The 40th day of this period of time will be September 11th, 2016, the 15th anniversary of the September 11th attacks. In order to help us remember this 40 days of prayer and fasting challenge, starting tomorrow on the big flagpole outside, we're going to hang up this flag. This flag was a flag of the Revolutionary War. It was commissioned by George Washington in October 1775. The phrase at the top is a phrase by Thomas Locke in one of his essays about government. And he said, when your king no longer listens to you, when you can't go to your king and make an appeal to him for justice, there is still one more higher court that you can go to. You can appeal to heaven and ask heaven to intercede for you. George Washington had this flag commissioned so that his ships on the water would say, if God doesn't rescue us, if God doesn't step in and help us against the most powerful navy on earth, there is no hope for these 13 colonies. This flag was a symbol. We appeal to the greatest, highest court that anyone can appeal to. We appeal to heaven and ask God, God, would you help us? So would you join me in appealing to God for our community? Would you join me in begging God for the souls of your next door neighbors, for your friends, or for your family? And would you, for the next 40 days, pray and fast with me?